Pro Stock Motorcycles face off in the Wax Shop Pro Bike Dash featuring defending titleist Jim Bernard, last year's runner-up Steve Johnson, and a challenge from Winston champions Dave Schultz, Pizza John Mafaro, and John Myers. From Indianapolis Raceway Park, there's big prize money on the line during this edition of NHRA Today. It takes intensity to be a winner, to have the ability to focus the mind on victory, to channel every thought and action towards one specific goal. To achieve such total concentration while exposed to the furies of speed takes a special individual indeed. When a pro stock motorcycle rider suits up and approaches the start line, he must undergo a transformation, becoming an integral component of his machine that for just over 7 seconds rides on the razor edge of control. Balance between the pull of physics and the quest for success. For the best at this two-wheel tightrope act, the sky is the limit. Forget whatever month you may currently be living in, because we are taking you back to Labor Day weekend, 1992 at Indianapolis Raceway Park, where as part of the annual NHRA U.S. Nationals, they are staging the Wax Shop Pro Bike Dash. The 8 finest pro stock motorcycles in the sport going head-to-head for a purse of $17,500. Hello, everyone. I'm Steve Evans. Welcome to this edition of NHRA Today. Let's get started. Bob Fry, tell us about the field we'll see today.
Thanks, Steve. This year's version of the Wax Shop Pro Bike Dash undoubtedly brings together the 8 hottest pro stock motorcycles over the last 12 months. Among them are 3 former or current Winston champions. We've also got a guy that swept everything in sight here at Indy last year, and a couple of pro stock champion wannabes. We had a chance to swing by the pit area earlier in the day and talk with each of the contestants and found out what they're looking forward to as they get set for the all-important first round. The winner of last season's event was Jim Bernard, and that success has him feeling optimistic.
Basically, still running the same combination that I ran here last year, just a little more refinement. I've gained another year's experience on the bike, and I feel a lot more confident going into this race.
Now, due to the new minimum weight regulations, there is only one Kawasaki in the field, and that's being ridden by DEVINE, who is Bernard's opponent in the first round.
You have to put weight on the bike, and it's hard to get the chassis dialed in with the extra weight on the bike, and the guys just thought, well, we'll build Suzukis and run the smaller weights.
Another one-of bike in the dash is the Yamaha of Byron Hines, a bike that has been plagued with teething problems all season long.
It's going to be a little bit tough for me because I missed the first 2 qualifying rounds, and I have to go out in this round and start racing and try to dial the bike in on one run. It's going to be pretty interesting.
Hines' rival in round number 1 is Lance Boyer, the largest rider in the field. And because of that, Lance is debuting a brand new lightweight chassis.
The bike came in 25 pounds lighter than any bike I'd ever owned, so it was great for me. I actually have weight bolted on for the first time ever since I've been racing.
3-time Winston champion Dave Schultz, who has been borrowing bikes all season, has a rather secure seat for the dash.
This bike is owned by Rick Ward and Greg Underdahl, 2 fellows from Minnesota who helped Byron Hines run his program. It's a good bike, and they wanted it to be out here on the track, so they gave me the opportunity to ride it.
Dave's opponent is Steve Johnson, who defeated Schultz in the first round at this event last year.
It's the old rematch, you know? And on the starting line, there'll be some playing, and maybe there won't be some playing, but whatever we can do, we're going to try to win. You have to show up to win, just like I said last year.
Johnson's runner-up finish 1 year ago came from the last spot in the field, a feat that veteran John Mafaro would like to duplicate or even improve on this year.
We're racing on my experience. You know, I've been out here 15 years, and I've run down this track many times, and I've had the bike working good. I haven't made a good run this weekend yet, but it could happen this round.
Leading the pack in the dash is John Myers, and John rates the entire field as potential winners.
You better believe it. I mean, you've got Pizza John, Byron Hines, Dave Schultz, Jim Bernard, all the top 8, you know, biggest guys. We're gonna have a tough run out there, but it's gonna be a good race.
I totally agree with that. Let's get going. In the near lane is DEVINE on the only Kawasaki in the field. He is up against the defending champion, Jim Bernard. But Bernard only qualified 4th here. for the Wax Shop Dash at Indianapolis Raceway Park. DEVINE qualified number 5, so they're very evenly matched. DEVINE has a couple of handicaps, though. One, he's racing with a severe cold, and he has no computer on board. He's also a big guy at 6 feet tall, hard to tuck and cut the wind resistance down. The perfect size for pro bike racing is 23-year-old Jim Bernard at 5'5", 140 pounds. He's a bull rider size, and I think there's some fair comparisons that could be drawn between the two sports. Now, these engines only have 4 itty-bitty cylinders, but they make an average of 230 horsepower and weigh between 570 and 600 pounds with the rider on board. So the power-to-weight ratio is very, very high. As we said, in the near lane is DEVINE, 4 lane is Bernard. Bernard trying to make it 2 wins in a row here at Indianapolis on a cloudy day, but it's very cool. The engine should perform at their very peak. Staging very carefully with the bikes. They're ready. A fantastic reaction time by Bernard in the far lane. He's got a huge lead. Can DEVINE make it up? No, and that makes Jim Bernard's dad Skip very happy. A 781 to a losing 792. Best speed to Bernard, 171 miles an hour. But how about the reaction time? 9 thousandths of a second away from a perfect light. All right, let's go with the next pair. In the near lane, it will be Dave Schultz, the number 3 qualifier. And, of course, 3-time Winston champ on that borrowed Suzuki he told us about. Now, he has 16 career national wins out of Fort Myers, Florida. But you know what? Here 1 year ago in the Dash, he got beat in round number 1 by that smiling young man. Steve Johnson, who's the number 6 qualifier here today, also on a Suzuki. And remember last year, Bob Fry showed you a very bizarre helmet that Steve Johnson was wearing? Well, believe me, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Steve, you said it's a whole new attitude and a whole new approach this year. Is there anything else new?
There's one thing new, Bob. As you know, you didn't like our helmet last year, and we got a lot of cards and letters saying people did. So we're trying to keep you happy, and here's the new helmet. Big difference, huh, Bob?
Yeah, these are like night and day.
John Pugh put a little fluorescent orange and a different background color. We changed it, but we still have to keep the people happy.
New helmet, new attitude, new approach, same old smile, and Steve Johnson's hoping for the same old results.
He could be a real clown at the trailer, but on the starting line, he is deadly serious, as Dave Schultz found out a year ago. Neither rider hurrying to the starting line. That also happened a year ago. Steve Johnson using the same psychological trick on Schultz. Last year, Schultz got a little bit flustered, couldn't stage the bike properly, got a red light, it was over, and Johnson advanced. Johnson doing exactly the same thing. And finally, into the beam. It's a great start. Johnson with a little bit of an edge. Here comes Schultz. It is Schultz from behind. A 778 to a losing 796. 171 miles an hour for the winner. Revenge for Dave Schultz. In replay, I'm sure you can see the yellow bike in the 4 lane, Steve Johnson, get the starting line advantage. Johnson was out in front of Dave Schultz, but he just didn't have the raw muscle. In the middle of the racetrack, it was all Dave Schultz as the bike came on like a rocket. Look at it there. To a winning elapsed time of 778. Bob Fry's with him.
Dave, tell us a little bit of a staging battle on the starting line, huh?
Well, I almost expected that. I've raced Steve too many times, and when he feels like he's at a disadvantage, he'll try to distract me some way. It worked last year. It didn't work this year.
778. That's a pretty strong performance.
Yeah, we knew we had it in it. Yesterday when we went back and downloaded our computer after the 81 pass, we saw a 75 in there. We made a couple of little changes. One of them I think we took a little too far because I bogged a little bit off the line, but 75 is still in there.
Dave Schultz with a 78 and a much better start than he had last year.
And he was not about to be embarrassed again. Stay with us when we come back. Side by side, it'll be Lance Boyer and Byron Hines at the Wax Shop Dash for Pro Stock Bike. Welcome back to Indianapolis Raceway Park. Who says big guys can't ride motorcycles? That's Lance Boyer. He's 6'2", 195 pounds. He's been racing since 1982, still looking for his first big NHRA Pro Stock Bike victory. But the same can be said here for his competitor, Byron Hines, one half of the famed Vance and Hines team. But Byron didn't start riding until just a couple of years ago out of Santa Fe Springs, California, the only Yamaha in the field, and he qualified number 2. Lance Boyer qualified number 7, but that's better than last year. He didn't even make the cut. He's on a brand new chassis in this race built by fellow racer Paul Gast, and it is showing tremendous potential. Lance operates some Goodyear Tire Center, so I think you can guess the brand of tire at the rear of that machine. Now, high tech doesn't begin to describe this bike that Byron Hines is astride. It's a Yamaha, as we mentioned, and earlier Bob Fry had a look at it.
It's time for the Bob Fry Drag Racing Trivia Quiz. Are you ready? What has 4 cylinders, 6 coils, and 12 spark plugs? Bap, time's up, but thanks for playing. The answer is this Pro Stock Yamaha ridden by Byron Hines. There are a couple of other subtle differences mechanically, but these are the most obvious. This is the only Yamaha Pro Stock bike in captivity, and Byron Hines hopes to take it to the championship in the Wax Shop Pro Bike Dash.
And apparently with a compression ratio of about 16-to-1, Byron Hines feels you need all the spark you can get. He's also going to need a good reaction time if he's going to beat Lance Boyer in the near lane. Oh, and he doesn't get it. Byron Hines has something happen right on the starting line. You saw him look down. Can he catch Boyer? A huge upset. Lance Boyer with a 796 defeats Byron Hines, 798, 169 for the winner, 168 for the loser. Let's have another look, especially at the far lane and Byron Hines. He was late off the mark, he knew it, and then he had control problems. Using his speed as outriggers, finally he settles the front wheel down and can use all of that power of the Yamaha, but it still was not enough. Lance Boyer not only had the whole shot, he also had the better elapsed time. Here's Bob Fry with the winner.
Lance, they say it ain't over till it's over, and you had a great job on the starting line. A little bit slower on the track, but you're in round number 2.
I'll take it. I shook the tire hard. I just kept thinking I'd see that pink and yellow bike, but I never saw him, so that was great.
Have a great way to start off a nice weekend, huh?
Boy, isn't that? That's wonderful. I love it.
Lance Boyer continues the tradition of the Wax Shop Pro Bike Dash with a stunning first-round upset.
And next up there of Suzuki Katanas, and this is the man to beat. John Myers qualified number 1. He lost in the second round last year, but a lot of people felt that was a bit of a fluke. Pizza John Mafaro, well, he's a past Winston champion. He told Bob Fry earlier he's relying on his experience here today and the many runs he has made down the quarter mile at IRP. All right, everything buttoned up on both bikes. Myers in the near lane, the winningest rider this year, sure to be the Winston champ. Mafaro over on the far side. The RPM's up to about 12,000. They dump the clutch. It's a great start. It's a great race. It is John Myers' race. A 779 to Pizza John 793. A big speed for Myers, 172.28 miles an hour as he will go to the Final Four. Who will he meet there? Aha, a rematch of round 2 last year. It'll be John Myers up against Bernard. Myers will have the lane choice with the quicker elapsed time from round 1. We'll also see Boyer versus Schultz. Schultz will have the lane choice there. Any one of the 4 could eventually win this thing. I think Bob Fry would agree. He's the far end.
John Myers, this is about the only race you didn't win last year, and a 779 first round's a great way to start.
That's fantastic, Bob. It felt like a good run. I had a little trouble staging. My clutch started to creep right at the last minute when I was staging, so I was in a little deeper than I wanted to be. It might have made my action time look good, but I'm sure it hurt the ET a little bit. And then as I was slowing down, the engine did a little braking because the clutch didn't release all the way when I pulled it in through the traps. So I was able to make it off to the first return road this time.
John Myers appears to be the guy you're going to have to beat if you want to roll into the victory circle here this weekend.
In the far lane, you're looking at John Myers driving his Suzuki. He prefers the term driver to rider because he says anybody that thinks we're just along for the ride ought to try this sometime. Use every muscle in your body. In fact, body English to keep the bike upright for maximum traction and minimum wind resistance. Myers up against Jim Bernard. A rematch of round 2 from the Dash 1 year ago where Bernard upset Myers. Can he do it again? A foul start for Jim Bernard. He shaved the light too close. It is John Myers, the George Bryce-owned machine at 779, 171 miles an hour. Bernard ran it on through anyway at 792. No matter what had happened on the starting line, I don't think Bernard could have handled Myers. He only red-lighted by 5/1000ths of a second, but that's enough to put you out.
John Myers, what a difference a year makes. You're in the finals.
That's great. That's what we plan to do. You know, that was a good call on George Bryce's part. The left lane wasn't looking too good right up there towards the end, and he made the call right at the last minute to change lanes. So Turned out good. I saw the red light. I saw Jim's red light, and I was going through the traps. I was so excited I had to give him a thumbs up.
For John Myers, it's 2 down and 1 to go.
And who is he going to race in the final round? Will it be in the near lane, Lance Boyer, who had a big upset in round number 1 that is mired in the 790s, or will it be Dave Schultz on the far road Suzuki? Schultz in the far lane. Boyer again had the whole shot, but not nearly enough power. It is Dave Schultz at a 773. Oh my, he outruns Myers at a huge speed of 175 miles per hour. Again, let's watch this in replay. And again, we're going to see Mr. Boyer move first off the starting line in the near lane. Watch this. Schultz maybe being a little conservative, feeling that he had the muscle to make it happen, and he certainly did. In the middle of the racetrack, look at the distance he had put on Lance Boyer. 773, 175. All right, here's how the final round will shape up for the Wax Shop Dash. It will be Dave Schultz against John Myers, and Schultz will have the lane choice. That may come as a shock to John Myers. Let's go to Bob Fry again at the far end.
Dave Schultz, it's taken a year, but it's finally going to be you and John Myers in the finals of the Wax Shop Pro Bike Dash.
Yes, it's great. It's great. It's exactly the way I should have been last year, and we're doing it this year. And I know John wasn't happy with his finish last year. I wasn't happy with mine, but we're going to do it this year.
Back at Indianapolis Raceway Park, we are ready for the final round of the Wax Shop Dash for Pro Stock motorcycles. A little earlier, there was a lot of work going on in the Myers pit. After seeing Dave Schultz rip off that 773, George Bryce and crew decided to change engines, just like a Pro Stock automobile. You don't try to tune up what you've got. You take another bullet fresh off the dyno that you know will run better. And then, moments ago, Dave Schultz said, hey, Myers, I want to change lanes. That's his prerogative. Does he really want that far lane, or is he playing a head game? And speaking of heads, on the near side of the helmet on John Myers, you can see that's our NHRA Today camera. Let's ride with John Myers as he tries to defeat Dave Schultz. It is Myers away first. You see him shifting gears with his left thumb. It is John Myers winning the Wax Shop Dash. A 779 to a super close 780. Yes, thumbs up all around at Star Racing. We have got to have one more look at this. Now watch Schultz. He's a little bit late, then has some control problems. Probably shook the tire a bit. But once he got it in gear, man, he was flying. 174 miles an hour to the winner's 171. But it wasn't enough to make up for the whole shot. Myers is the champ.
Not that lane change up there at the last moment. Did Dave Schultz changing lanes throw you off at all?
Yeah, they wanted to change lanes. No, it didn't bother me at all, because I kind of expected that. You know, a lot of times what the other guy will do is they'll try to change lanes right at the last minute to throw the other guy off. And it's just a little strategy plan they had going, I think. It didn't bother us.
You guys have waited a year for this, haven't you?
Yeah, we have. You know, we had a little trouble in the second round last year, and we're just proud to be here, Bob, and the Star Racing gang. We just changed motors, you know, before this round. I guess we ran the same, but, you know, this motor, we know it's better. The tune-up probably wasn't just perfect, and now we got some more time to play with it.
John Myers, winner of the 1992 Wax Shop Pro Bike Dash over Dave Schultz, 779. Winner, winner, winner.
Our congratulations to John Myers and the entire Pro Stock motorcycle gang for a great show. We'll see you next week here, everyone, on TNN.
NHRA Today is a presentation of Diamond P Sports.